I'm out playing with the Manticore. I just put some Sharpie marks on one of the screen protectors to give me an idea of where certain things are hitting until I can learn the numbers and everything else. So I'm running 24 out here. It's about as high as I can run without getting too much interference. So I'm back out at the spot, the yard. I dug a bunch of buttons through here. I dug a Confederate button over there. So I just came out with a Manticore. I've only got about 8 hours on this thing so far, but I just marked some obvious signals through here. Now I've hunted through here a couple times with the Deus too, so you expect to hear some targets. I tried to only dig things that were reading at least 4 inches or deeper on the Manticore. I found that the depth gauge on this is a little questionable at times, so I do have the audio set so I can hear the depth a little bit. So I just marked these. I'm going to come back with the Deus 2 and I'm just going to do a one pass over on these, because really, as I said before, you have to hear it on the first pass or it's no good. And I'm just going to listen to them, remark them, and then double check them again with the Manticore to see what the Deus 2 says they are, and then what the Manticore, and just use a subjective, my own subjective opinion of what I think is hitting better and giving a better signal. So obviously not too scientific, but I've passed through here for about a half hour, and I'm surprised at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, probably about a dozen targets out here. So we'll see how it goes. All right, I've checked every target. The difference here is I'm running the Deus 2 wide open. I run it on 0 or 1 reactivity. I found on the Manticore I need to run it about of a 3 reactivity, or whatever reaction speed, whatever they call it, to get the signals to sound a little crisper. I found that on 0 and 1, and even on 2 on the Manticore, that the signals really draw out, and sometimes they kind of blend in with the ground noise. I don't really like the way that's responding. So I've gone through here and I have checked every target. So far there's the Deus 2 has heard every target on first swing, with the exception of 2. And I put these at an angle to let me know that the Deus on my first swing over, I would have just kept walking, or it gave me an iron signal. So I'm going to get the Manticore again and just compare and see. But all these other ones, the main reason they're still here is because on the Deus 2 they're reading super shallow, and on the Manticore all of these signals read at least 4 inches deep. So yeah, the depth indicator and the sound on the Manticore just isn't where I'm at. So it could be the headphones, could be my settings. I have to play around with a little bit more. But right now I'm just going to double check these with the Manticore, especially these 2 that the Deus didn't sound off on. They said it was iron. I'm going to go dig those first with the Manticore and see if in fact they are iron. So that's it. Well, this first target, when I came back on it with the Manticore, I can't get it to sound off. So it's coming back as iron. So I'm going to call that user error on that one, because second time around it's not showing up as a target. Well, here's that second target. It's repeating in my headphones, but you can see on the 2D screen it's jumping high, 96. It's hitting on the center line, but it's up there real high. And then it's kind of iffy this way, jumping around. So don't know about that one. I'm going to dig it up just to see, because the Deus 2 told me that was iron. So we'll confirm one way or the other. Here's a signal that the Manticore and the Deus 2 both heard. It was a little bit deeper. Probably one I should have dug the first time around. Obviously, you don't get it all. So there's a pretty obvious target on both machines. I've dug about 6 of those total targets through here. One was a piece of iron. 2 of them turned out to just to be iron that on the second pass with the Manticore wouldn't have dug it either. That's part of the learning curve. The other ones were just a couple inches deep, modern trash. that the Manticore was telling me was at least 4 inches deep. I could tell on the Deus too that it was real shallow. This target here sounds a little higher, in the coin range, upper 80s. Should have been a target I should have dug earlier based on the depth of it. I would have never have left this target. So I did hear it first with the Manticore. Confirmed it with a one swing pass of the Deus, and that hurt it. And actually, it turns out to be a little horse tack buckle. So definitely a target that I'd normally be digging in here. So another little relic. I think there was a barn in here, so it makes sense. But yeah, a good target in here. I got a few more targets to dig up, and we'll see what we got. Guys, just easy on the comments because I know this isn't very scientific. It's the Deus 2, the Manticore. I hunted first with the Manticore, marked 12 targets that I thought were targets. 2 of them ended up being iron. That second time around with the Manticore, I probably would not have dug, so I'll blame that on user error. So there's 10 targets. And then I came back with the Deus 2, and I did a one pass only over that target to see if the Deus 2 would give me a signal. And I'm going to have to say that obviously I found with the Manticore, so the Manticore gave me enough information to stop. But I went through, none of these were really deep with the exception of this one little horse tack buckle. And the Deus 2 hit on that just as good or better than the Manticore. Nice, clean, high 80 signal. 2 of the targets were iron, and both the Deus and the Manticore were given signals on them. But with the Deus, they're still there because I can tell the iron even when it's given me a good false, the raspy edge of a signal with the Deus 2. But that's because I got a lot of hours on the Deus 2. So, the Deus did kind of false on it, so I would say that. This I would not have dug, and it was still there because I could tell it was a shotgun shell hitting in the 70s, but that edge on the Deus 2 starts to taper off or get raspy. It was just a good signal with the Manticore. And then these other items, these were all less than 4 inches deep, and that's why they were still here. This turns out to be, I think, a little lantern dial piece, a piece of a harmonica reed, and a couple pull tabs. So. But they were still here, obvious targets with the Deus 2, but the Deus 2 was just telling me they were just only 1 or 2 inches deep, and that was accurate. So all the targets are being heard. It just depends on how much information you want from the machine to make you dig or not. In many cases, you dig everything, you're going to find more, obviously. I get a little... I start cherry picking in some sites and start leaving some of the shallow stuff, based on the fact that this is a modern home and this ground's been moved around. So maybe I should be digging everything, but nothing surprising here. Both machines heard them, and just the fact I have a lot more hours with the Deus 2 is why a lot of these targets are still sitting here in the top 1 or 2 inches of the ground. So nothing scientific, but that's my initial comparison hunt with the 2 machines. Hey all, happy Memorial Day. Got a little break in the weather. It's been raining here for the last couple days. Went to a little event this morning, and then the skies cleared up a little bit, and so I decided to sneak out. Now here's kind of a neat little story. I don't know if you guys remember that video where I found a Confederate A button in Bobby and Shelley's yard. They'd give me permission to hunt their yard. And then I made a display for them of a few things they got out of their yard. So then, flash back a couple days ago, I went out there just to detect in their yard a little bit. I met a really nice gal. And we got to talking about what I do, what I find. I explained to her I made a nice display for Bobby and Shelley. She says, well, you know, I got some property. A few people have hunted it in the past, but if you want to run out there, take a look, be my guest. Bobby and Shelley vouch for you. So here I am. She got this little field just been hayed. So I'm gonna walk out of here and see if I get anything. If I do, I'll keep a few trinkets and put together another display for her. So kind of a little success story of how you network it and how friends of friends, as long as you're a good person, you treat the property with respect, you get an opportunity to get out and poke around. So sorry for the long introduction, but I do have this field. I got a little field over here she said I can poke around in. And then back there's some horses in there. She said it's kind of long, but I'm welcome to go back there. And there's a couple houses on this property. She said she thinks one dates to about the 1860s. So maybe eventually I'll work my way to the back and get permission to poke around in there. So that's it right now. Sorry for the long intro, but kind of a neat story. All right, well, I just kind of been wandering around this field. Got my first signal. It's the mid-60s. That looks like it's a button, so at least I got me a flat button out of here. Oh, that's a cool little button right there. Looks like it was silver plated with a little gold star in the middle of it. Damn, that's kind of cool. Let me see if I can clean that off a little bit. Oh, I got excited because I dug a rattlesnake button that had a similar design around it, but this just looks like a fancy button. It could be silver. That could be a silver button. I'll clean that up a little bit, get a better picture. I clean that up a little bit. That's a pretty darn cool little button. So heavy silver plated, I think. But yeah, pretty fancy, intricate design on that. So very cool. I moved up to the front of the property here. And right here, I got my first bullet. My first bullet off this property. So that's pretty exciting right there. So maybe that might be an Enfield. Just a smooth Enfield. There it is, first bullet. Beautiful, perfect 82 signal. This just rolls out. Look at that. I think that's just going to be a Sharps. So this little strip up here by the road, you see it's starting to rain. But another little bullet. All right, guys, it started raining. I started walking along this fence. I dug those 3 bullets back over there. Got this signal. It was deep. Look at this. Look at this. That's a button for sure. 2-piece button. Looks like the back is broke out a little bit. But definitely a 2-piece button. What is on it? What is going to be on this? Oh, that's a bummer. I think I see the globe above it. Yeah. Had me excited. We've all seen too many of those in our day. But that was exciting for a second. But post-Civil War, but a button all the same. Well, the clouds are coming in, but I got this good signal. It's only a one-way signal. And, oh, look at that. Nice. Williams cleaner. Dropped. Base is intact. That's a nice bullet right there. I haven't dug many of those. So, that's a nice one. Right on. Well, this had me going for a while. This was pretty deep, about 8 inches deep. First I thought it was pewter. It looks like pewter, which would make it pretty old. I mean, obviously it's not a button that big, but almost looks like there was potentially something on it. I don't know. Obviously, there's some raised sections here. So I'll try to clean that off a little bit more later, see if I can get a picture and see if I can get any sort of ID on that. But pretty cool. I don't know if there's any writing around the edge on that, but clean it up, see what I can figure out. Well, I'm back out to this site, hunted earlier, and now this hayfield is cut. I didn't get anything in that hayfield over there, but this hayfield's cut. Got a decent signal right here. It's hitting 80, 81. First repeatable signal of the day. Typically that's going to be a bullet. So I thought I'd just pop it out. We've had thunderstorms last week, so kind of nice dirt this weekend. So see if we can get out and pop something out. Right in there. I need a live dig. There it is right there. All right. Got a round ball. Live dig on a round ball, so I'll take it. Okay, kind of wandered into the woods, or on the edge of the woods a little bit. Got an 81. Didn't dig it very well, but right on the side, I can see some white right there. So I thought I'd pop that out. I'm gonna guess that's a, yeah, that's a nice 3-ringer. Nice drop 3-ringer. Dark shell on it. That'll clean up really nice. All right, looks like a button just popped out of here. Looks like it could be a 2-piece button. Don't know what's on it. See if I can get a brush on it. See if there's anything on it. Looks like there's something on it, for sure. Don't know exactly what, but let me work on that, see if I can get something. All right, wandering around in the woods. Another bullet signal. See if I can pinpoint this. We pop this out on camera, get us another bullet, maybe a different variety. Got a round ball, 3-ringer, shotgun shells, a few other things going on in here. But see if we get us a different variety of bullet pop out of here. So we haven't dug in a while, like a Sharps. Or an Enfield. There it is right there. And it is another 3-ringer, which I'll take. And the signals are not super heavy in here, but I got 3 or 4 period targets in an hour, so I'll keep poking around. All right, I moved to a different area of the field. Here's a cool little find. I believe that's the top of a canteen spout, so good indicator that somebody was in here. So I'd called Cameron earlier, so he's on his way over, so at least we have an indicator that there's something in here. All right, I got a mid-80s signal, and down probably 7-8 inches I see that. So I think that, oh yeah, it's just gonna be horse tack, but nice screamer signal. So good signal. Holy cow, look at this. I'm right next to the road. Look at this. That is crazy. May not know what that is, but I'm sure that's the whole hammer side plate off a Musket. That's crazy. That'll clean up nice. I'm going to electrolysis that. Here's a side plate. Here's the hammer. Here's the cock lever. Dang, that is crazy. All right, I came back to the truck. I knocked a little bit of rust off that thing. So now you can really see it. Get a better sense of what that is. So that hammer, side plate, lock plate, whatever you want to call it. So that should clean up pretty good with electrolysis. I don't know enough about these, about guns, to say what that came off of. But yeah, there it is. That's pretty cool.